Welcome to this section of our review of the recent Project Information Literacy Research Report entitled Learning Curve, College to Workplace, written by Allison J. Head, Ph.D. In the first segment, we covered what employers expected as baseline information competencies and the information competencies college hires rarely demonstrate. In this segment, we'll look at what college graduates reported encountering during their transition from being a student to being an employee. First, let's highlight the major challenges the graduates identified. The workplace was a surprise to many college graduates in that they encountered a pervasive sense of urgency. They were expected to locate and present information quickly and effectively. No longer did they receive a syllabus outlining what would be expected from them over the course of a quarter or a semester. Information needs in the workplace are much more immediate than they experienced in college. Requests for research in the workplace generally do not come with much structure or direction. The employee is required to determine the process, the resources required, the level of analysis, and what form the presentation of the information will take. Throughout the process, the employee is expected to be self-directed towards the final product. In the workplace, research and information use is highly contextual. In other words, directly related to a specific company or a specific industry need. Knowledge of the context is extremely important, which leads to the next aspect. Research in the workplace is fundamentally social. Unlike college research assignments, which are the work of individual students, group work or teamwork is common in the workplace. Additionally, asking questions of colleagues and in-house experts is often required to understand the context in which the information will be used, which informs the research itself. College graduates also identify the essential research skills they bring to the workplace from their college experience. In other words, these are the competencies they self-identified as having, which would aid in successful information gathering tasks on the job. Social psychologists, David Dunning, Ph.D. at Cornell University, and others, have studied the tendency of individuals to overrate their abilities. Regardless, it is important to note that these are the skills college students feel they bring to the table when entering the workforce. First is the ability to use a system or process for evaluating sources for appropriateness to the information need. In my library instruction, I teach the CRAP test, which looks at the currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose of the resource. There are other models in use at colleges around the country, and the model used is probably less important than simply teaching a system or process to evaluate sources. Secondly, graduates point to the ability to read critically and analyze information. This skill may be seen differently by faculty than by students, but it is noteworthy that college graduates consider this an ability they gain from their education. Thirdly, there is no question that college students today are confronted with large volumes of content, and they must dig and analyze to ascertain what information source is quality and what is not. Again, having a system or process to evaluate resources is key to being able to identify and extract quality information from the glut. And lastly, graduates identify an understanding that conducting research is an iterative process, which continues to ask questions throughout the process to inform the research itself. If all of the above are indeed competencies college students enter the workplace with, librarians and faculty have accomplished great things. Stay tuned for a final segment presenting the conclusions drawn by Allison Head in this Project Information Literacy Research Report. This is Margaret Driscoll, and thank you for watching.